18th of March, and I've come to Bempton with my mate Pete. And while I'm here, I thought I'd just take 5 minutes just to show you a location that I'm always talking about when I talk about that huge sphere that kind of lit up in field. And I know I've spoke about it many times, and we have actually shown it in documentary Wolflands, but it were here, below hill, huge sphere of light. And I'm going to see if I can get Lee to come onto live stream, even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes, and give his version of what he saw. And bearing in mind, he saw it a second time when he came once again on his own. Didn't tell me till a long time afterwards. So we saw that on November the 14th 2019, and it's still probably the most spectacular thing that I've witnessed up here, and it just kind of imploded and vanished. But let's just stay with it because we're on location, we're kind of in the zone. This is the same hill, you'll have heard me speaking about it before, where in 1998, I think it was November, Mick Sigson and a group of rock anglers, and I know light's fading so I know it's not great, but a group of rock anglers fishing along the cliffs claim that a spaceship landed on the hill. So you can see the hill, you can see the sky above it. So imagine he looked at that object, and whilst looking at it, he said to himself, what's a combined harvester doing up there at this time of year? And he said he could see a gap between the land and the sky, and there's a band, and it slowly came down, and as it came down there's a huge ring of sparks dancing off the ground, and when it settled there were flame. So an interesting sighting. So let's just stay with it. We'll just stay with this hill, bear with me. This is the same location where I think it was 2020 my daughter Gemma and Bob Brown saw the square of white light, which literally just dropped to the floor and vanished. Now I know people have heard me speak about these things many times, but I don't think we've done this at the location, so I think it's worth talking about now. So you've got multiple events of different types of the unexplained, all presenting in one concentrated area, and that's got to be worth talking about. And we're going to be up here till kind of deep into the night. If anything should show, if anything should be experienced, we won't be catching it on a GoPro because, you know, the light conditions just aren't good enough. The camera's just not good enough to perform in low light. I'll put a light on now just to give us a bit of example. So, an area of true high strangeness, regardless of what some people local to the area would like to believe. But who's up here? Who's up here now at this time of night? And it's not late yet. Nobody. It's okay saying that these things aren't happening, these things aren't being experienced. If you sat at home with your curtains shut watching Emmerdale Farm, you're not going to see it, are you? But you've got to put yourself in these locations to actually see and experience. And I'm looking at Filey there down in the distance. There's Pete further down, and it's a great night. It's pretty clear, and fingers crossed, if nothing else, we've spent 3 or 4 hours in fresh air, and I much prefer that to sat just watching TV. I don't want to be sat eating crisps and having a drink of beer. There's no wrong with that either, by the way. So, if you're interested in what we're doing, if you like what I'm talking about, press the like and subscribe. It's probably there at side of you now. It's totally free and it just helps us grow the channel, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.